So I'm inviting them to the live now. So if you guys have any questions for Brianne, type them in the chat, or just any questions in general for any of us, or what it was like filming. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Amazon Freebie did this amazing show called High School based on Tegan and Sara's memoir of the same name. And so it came out about 3 weeks ago. There's 6 episodes out right now, 2 more this Friday, and you can watch all of them on Amazon Freebie. So I'm waiting for these girls to get on the live. But until then, if you have any questions, put them down. I'm getting told they're unable to join. But until then, so many questions. Let's see. Okay, for some reason it's not letting them join. I have no idea what's going on. You guys have to bear with me. I also just ate way too many of these cookies that I got. Crazy. Okay. Let's see.
Oh, hi. Okay, there we go.
Oh, it's working. Hello. Guys, this is Amanda. Amanda plays Maya
Hi,
on the
everyone.
show. And we're accepting Brianne.
Is Rave here?
Yeah, I feel like I never do live, so I feel like I'm a little grandma. Hi, Brianne.
Hi, Bree.
Oh my God, you guys! It's a reunion, Amanda.
I love you. Oh my God, right?
I love it.
That took
I haven't
so
seen you
long.
in so long.
It's been so long.
It's been crazy
Oh,
because
yeah. Oh my gosh.
I
We
haven't
haven't seen
seen
you
you since we wrapped the show. What, in June?
June. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you wrapped in May, end of May. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think you're right. I did.
Wow.
I see Olivia every Wednesday.
Yeah, we do ballet together. For everyone wondering, me and Brianne are little ballet babies, and we do ballet together.
Yes.
How are you doing, Bri? How are you today?
I'm good. I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to talk about our amazing show that we're so proud of and that's been so well received by so many people. And I just feel really honored and lucky.
Yeah, me too, man. All me and Amanda ever talk about, or all any of us talk about when we're in a group, is the show. And how good it is.
And it's it's what brought us all together. But then on top of that, it's it was such a positive experience that we can't help but keep rehashing it, you know?
Exactly.
Well, me and Amanda are going to ask you some
real
questions.
quick, I just realized all 3 of us are love interests on the show.
Yes, we are.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
we
look
are.
at us together.
You know, you and me, Allie, we're in a bit of a love triangle.
We're in a little pickle, but
And we'll discuss it. And we will discuss it.
okay.
Sorry,
also, people in the chat, feel free to ask questions.
Yeah. If there's any you guys want to know. Also, Rayleigh's in here. Hey, Rayleigh. Okay.
Hey, Rayleigh.
So, let's do this. Amanda, you want to shoot off with the first question?
All right. We'll start a little simple. How did you find it shooting in Calgary? How was shooting in Calgary for you?
Cold.
Yeah.
Very cold. Very I guess it's also due to, in part to shooting with still pandemic protocol, which, our production does to keep us safe and everyone safe. But it felt like at times it could be isolating, but luckily we had our bubble where it was us against the world. And that was the greatest comfort for me. But Calgary is, oh my God. Don't talk about the telesky. I love the telesky, but after a while, it's I need a change of scenery. But yeah, it was just us becoming kind of this very close knit group of friends in a very short amount of time. That just was my favorite part of shooting. And I think that probably would have happened anywhere, regardless of it being in Calgary, but I don't know. I have to say though, like I love like wearing sweaters and coats and scarves and beanies. And so it was just kind of like we were in our own little like cozy girl movie, and I loved
Bree
it.
was teaching us how to sew for a bit.
Oh, to knit. Yes, I was
That
teaching them how to
like,
knit.
That lasted maybe a week, I think. Like
we were
maybe
committed for a few days, for sure.
We gave up on that pretty quick.
I actually took home, so when Esther left, she left her door open, so me and Amanda went and raided the rest of the stuff that she left, and just to see what she left, you know, because she left so much stuff. And I took this like knit thing that she started knitting that she was going to turn into a vest. I don't think she knows this. And my cats lay on it. My cats sleep on it.
Oh, that's so cute. You repurposed it so it didn't go to waste.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I stole from Esther's room, if anybody wanted to know.
Now she knows.
Speaking of Esther, Brianne, and just all of us, what were your first impressions of your castmates? What were you expecting, and what did you think?
Oh, God. No, the first person I met, I mean, we all kind of met over a Zoom table read, but like that's very impersonal and awkward, and you don't really get to talk to one another. So, but I remember in the table read, I remember thinking, wow, these girls are really good. And like, not that I should be surprised in any way. I wasn't surprised, but I was just very impressed. And it made me it really was a testament, I think, to Clea and Laura's casting. I felt like each of you you embodied your characters in a very unique and like genuine way. And I was just really impressed by how talented you guys all are. And then the first person I met in person was Olivia, and it was in the lobby. And I think you were going to yoga or something. And I had just got in the night before, and I was like, oh God, I don't know anybody. Like, this is going to be so awkward and weird. And then you broke the ice immediately. You were like, we're all hanging out later. You should hang out with us. Here's my number. And then you put in the group chat, and all of a sudden we're best friends. And it was the best. And then we all hung out, and it was like we had known each other. I remember the first night when we hung out. By the end of the night, we were like, I feel like we've known each other our whole lives. Like, it's crazy that I've known you guys for less than 24 hours, and yet I am obsessed with each and every one of you. So, fair to say that I was very happy to meet you guys. And then I didn't get to meet the twins until a little later. I think the filming schedule and the pre-production schedule was just a little off, so we didn't really get a ton of time to hang out. And I was immediately taken by them because, like, just, like, the way they got cast on the show and just, like, how impressive they are and just, like, to be thrown into this and to handle it as well as they did, and then also just be, like, the best human beings that are so talented and, like, true to themselves. I was really impressed because I'm the oldest out of the group, and yet I was looking at all of you thinking, like, wow, I wish I had been like this cool or this mature or this knowledgeable when I was that young, you know? And I'm acting like I'm way older, but I'm not that much older. But,
no, you're a mother.
But I did assume the mother role pretty quickly, which I was happy to do because you're all my grateful, lovely little children.
You know, I was talking to this team the other day, and she said that that you were the best on y'all's movie set as well, because like it was like her first time for a lot of stuff, and you were just showing her the ropes, and you were like, this is how you do this is where we're going. So I think that
makes me happy.
That's you, man. I think that's a testament.
I mean, I think that's the thing. That's the right thing to do, but also me personally, it brings me so much joy to share all of like the knowledge that I've accumulated after being in the industry for so long. I love when you can just, you know, be supportive of one another and create like a really strong, healthy environment. I think it shows, it translates in what you watch at the end of the day, and also just our experience and what we get to take home is like, honestly, as an actor, the most important part to cultivate for me. So if I can do that in any way, I try.
Yeah.
You did such a good job, Brittany.
Oh, Amanda, I love you.
Wait, before we move on, am I buffering? I saw someone say I was buffering.
You're a little
A little bit.
Like pixely.
Yeah.
It's still hot.
I'm gonna kind of jump. Okay, now Amanda's reconnecting, so I'm gonna kind of jump down the question list since you brought this up and brought up being in the industry for the longest out of all of us and doing so many different projects. So, how do you go about preparing for a role normally? And did you do anything different in your process for Allie?
I mean, I kind of just try to do my best to use all the resources that I have to like immerse myself in the world. And it's really cool because this is period, it takes place in the 90s and there was so much to pull from because there's a memoir written about it. Tegan and Sara were very much involved and like really good at like kind of educating us on the time and on their lives and Calgary, what it was like then. And so I just like asked a lot of questions. I read the book. I listened to music from that period. And I looked at the clothes from that time and stuff. And also though, I felt like pretty prepared going into it, luckily, because my favorite show for a long time has always been My So-Called Life. And that I felt like had the essence that we were going for in a way. And I think Clea and I really bonded over that in my callback. Maybe that's why I got the job, is because I was like, I said, so basically Allie's like Jordan Catalano. And she was like, yes. And it was just like, oh, okay, light bulb went off. And so, yeah, I just tried to like really get lost in that world. But at the end of the day, I think it's kind of instinctual. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much to pull from, and speaking about immersing yourself, sorry, man, I'm jumping all over the question list. Speaking about immersing yourself in, in the style and in the kind of era of the 90s, I know we all played a big hand in kind of what our character style was and had such good, like, crew and costume people to be able to build that with. What were you... what was your input into that? What did you really want to create for Allie's look?
Yeah, I feel like what I love about the show is that every character has their own unique style, but it doesn't feel like cartoon character-y. It feels very authentic. But Allie's style is interesting because we didn't want to really base her off the real person too much. Even in the book, she's not like really all that detailed to respect her privacy. So we kind of got to create her from the ground up. Clea was very involved from the beginning. Clea was thrifting for us and like pulling and she was so good at it. She was so good at it. Like everything she pulled was just like magic. But yeah, I think that I just tried to like imagine like what if I'm going to be crushing hard on some girl and I'm in high school in the 90s, like what is it that I'm drawn to? And I think obviously having the orange hair makes her stand out, but just having this effortlessness and willingness to play, and like her clothes are all vintage or taken from her brother or her dad, and she's just like effortlessly cool, but isn't afraid to like wear a skirt, or then another day she's wearing like a mechanic jumpsuit. She really plays with like
the mechanic jumpsuit.
A mechanic's jumpsuit.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I love that. I should have taken that. But yeah, so I think it's cool that she didn't really care too much about the perception of other people, and she just kind of wore whatever she wanted to wear. And I feel like we all wanted to be that person, so of course you're going to be attracted to the person that is actually doing that, So I feel like that was kind of the direction we were headed.
Yeah. Man, those were fun. I loved trying everything on. I love trying on.
Oh my gosh. I loved seeing your guys' outfits. I remember thinking like, I want to wear that. So annoying they get to wear that.
I had one, like there was one dress that we've already seen in the show, I think in episode 6, and it was like a Dickies workwear dress, and I was like, this is so good. It's covered with
I
the
remember
denim
that.
jacket, but that one, and I loved everything of Amanda's. I loved the
The
oversized
flannel,
Yeah.
shorts, the
cut-off
flannels,
short.
It's
Yeah.
the shorts and the leg warmers. At
the
first I
leg
was
warmers
like, this is
underneath.
good, and then I was like, this is the best. I
It's
loved
genius.
it so much. It was
Yeah.
so good.
I remember I came home from Calgary and I was going out. I think I went out with Esther and I was like, I'm gonna dress like Amanda's character. I'm gonna be mine. And I wore cut-off denim shorts and like leggings underneath, and I was thinking like, I am not pulling this off like her.
There's no way. I got back from set and I went thrifting, and I was like, I'm wearing everything that we were wearing on the show. It was so in my
Yeah, it was, because I think it was such an iconic time for style and music, and so it's really fun to like get to live in that world.
Yeah, I feel like though, for me, I think Phoebe's style is very different than my personal style.
True, but
and I
was it fun for you?
Pardon?
Do you feel like that was fun for you though, to like wear a style that was different from your
Oh,
own?
absolutely, because that just like puts you even more, you know what I mean? Like you're putting on someone else's clothes at the beginning of the day. I'm sure for you, Amanda, as well, like putting on those kind of more loose fits and everything is it helps you
changes your it changes your stature a bit, and even like your walk. Like I felt like I was walking a little differently. Yeah. So like wardrobe, hair, makeup, and all that. I mean, I was just wearing eyeliner only.
Yeah. Which honestly was so cool. Like I found myself wearing a lot more eyeliner when I came home, because I never really did, but then Allie does, but it was funny because actually right when I came home I had to change my hair color. I had it for too long, I think, and also it was like, it almost felt like it was Allie's, it was not mine, even though I had it before I even got the show. But I was just like, no, I'm gonna leave that with her, and I gotta move on.
What would you want Allie's hair to be like for season 2 if we get one?
I thought about it, because it depends. Do we pick up where we leave off? Do we jump around? I don't know, but I love the idea of. Did you ever watch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
Yes.
One of my favorite movies, but Kate Winslet, her hair kind of, changes, and there's something very whimsical and very like manic pixie dream girl, but with that being said, like I don't really love that trope, but I do like the idea that Allie is an object of affection for Sarah, and so I think what I loved about the first season is that we play with that, is that you don't really know what is going on in Allie's head. She doesn't really say much. She's completely a mystery, but that's why you can project any fantasy you want onto her, which, at the end of the day is kind of what Sarah's doing. And we've all done that, especially with a crush. So I like the idea of playing with that trope a bit, and then hopefully eventually in the future of the show, like really getting to delve in deeper, Allie.
Yeah, because when we were going to ask, you guys do have a lot of those kind of like non-verbal moments. I think,
and they're very intense. Like
very intense.
You never fully know what goes on in their heads, especially like, for example, the scene at the rave where you like walk up to her and then everyone's like, what's going to happen? But nothing does. And it's just like, it's just so intense, and it's even though you're not saying anything, you really feel that there's like a connection there, and it's like strong, and I feel like that's also relatable for people because we're playing high schoolers and a lot of things aren't acted on, which is like you can feel super strong emotions and not act upon them. And I feel like our show did a really good job at portraying those like strong feelings without always having a resolution that quickly.
100%. Yeah, because it's in high school, I was just yearning, you know. That was like, I wasn't doing anything. I was yearning for people. I was just like watching them from afar. And or, you know, like then maybe you have a class or you run into each other in the hallway, and it's not like, life is just not like a movie where like the perfect thing is gonna come out of your mouth and it's gonna be a magical moment. Normally that doesn't happen, and I feel like that's what's cool about our show, is that it's so grounded and that these characters feel very real. Like I feel like I know a character that, or a person that reminds me of Allie, that reminds me of Maya, that reminds me of Phoebe, you know. And so I hope that people like can feel that relatability and honesty in the show.
Yeah, I definitely think it will. I mean, I like just reading like messages and DMs or just what people are saying. Like it's I think it's such a special show. I think
It makes me sweat.
Going to work on it. Let's see. Amanda, you want to pick a question?
How was it having Tegan and Sara on set all the time? Having something be based on somebody's real life can sometimes be intimidating if they're on set. You know, kind of watching how things are going, you can kind of be like, oh, is this accurate? Like, how do you feel about this? But how is it for you? Like, how are your interactions with them, conversations with them, and how is it having them on set?
For me personally, I feel like it was more like when we weren't working that I interacted with them the most. I mean, it was a great comfort to have them on set. I kind of felt like they were our guardian angels the whole time. Like, they were never going to go astray, and they were going to keep us, like, authentic. And I just, and also, like, yes, a little bit of pressure when you're playing real people, but, I mean, they were only supportive, but I think that pressure is good because it just keeps you from being phony, like having any falseness to you, because you know they'll catch it, you know, and like call you out on it. But like, I think that offset, they were great because they like really made you feel welcome and supported. And you know, I had some conversations with Sarah talking about the person that my character is based off of and getting a little bit of insight here and there, and that was really helpful. But it also was just completely surreal. I've known of Tegan and Sara for so long, and it was like being in front of celebrities, you know, like, and it was really cool. But then what shocked was that like they are so down to earth and just awesome, normal, and so I had to like adjust your brain, like, okay, well, I need to just act normal too. That I can't drooling all over them and early, but and so just,
I love for fangirling for like literally everybody, like Clea, everybody, Kobe, just so many.
Oh my god, I'm honestly that I didn't have to work with Kobe because I think I lost if I had to remember lines in front of her. I'm such a fan. But you know, I did when we had the premiere party. She came up to me and was like, "We never met in person," and I was like, she was so sweet. She was so sweet, and I think we're just lucky that we have great people. But Clea was also like, whoa, that was like a moment, and I felt that in the call, and I just like was like, Brianne, be cool, like literally.
I know, yeah.
Be cool right now, you're not gonna get this job.
No, exactly.
Oh, dude, I totally freaked out in the callback room. I totally, like, the last 2 minutes I was in there, I think I did the scene, and then they're like, all right, thanks so much for like coming in, and I just went off on like a 2-minute like, oh my god, well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me in here, and I love you guys all so much, and I think you're all amazing, and the fact that this is like so many women and like queer representation in this project, I love it. And then I hung up and I went to my acting coach and I was like, oh my god.
Viral.
I was like, I think I just ruined it. But I actually think in a weird reason, that's the reason I got the job.
Exactly.
That's not the reason, but like, I think it added.
Yeah, but I think that like your willingness to be vulnerable was like probably so endearing to them. And they probably saw like a glimpse of like Phoebe in there, because Phoebe is so like, for someone in high school, she's very good at communicating. Like sometimes when I'm watching the show, like for the most part, you know, like none of the characters are perfect at communicating. They're only human, but like out of all the younger characters, Phoebe is like really like, she kind of knows how to speak up and like really talk to Sarah and stuff. She's really mature in that way, and I feel like you have that that quality in real life also. Like, you know how many times you talked me down from like nervous breakdown? I mean,
thank you. I think Phoebe's definitely got a lot of that. I think it comes from her mom, who's played the amazing Kate Drummond. But like, no man, I think a lot of it comes from her mom and the way, you know, she's raised and the expectations on her. And I feel like that was just easy for me to kind of infuse that with. But yeah.
Take it.
Yeah, I'm looking if we have any. Let's see. Okay, wait. Also, guys, in the comments, ask some questions in the comments.
Someone. What?
Rayleigh said she asked Clea if she was on the TV in their Zoom first time. She was like, "Are you on TV?"
She did. She's so cute, Rayleigh. I love that. Like, I love the stories of like, oh, I totally fangirled over her, and then the other side of the spectrum was like, who are you?
What's going on? Someone asked if you can find High School on Prime Video. You can search High School on Prime Video, and it'll take you to where you can watch it on Freevee. And then all of the episodes, by the way, are dropping on October 28th.
This Friday.
Canada. Yeah, this Friday. Woo! Yeah, so Brie, do you think there was any, you know, in the first few episodes, was there a scene just throughout that time that you thought was really fun to film, that you were nervous to film, maybe?
I think me, Esther, and Season all shared the same fear of doing the rave scene, because just like dancing can sometimes be very cringy and embarrassing.
No, you guys did great. It looked great.
Yeah, but like room full of like, you know, crew and background, and they're like filming you, and it's like, especially for Allie, who's supposed to be like, you know, there are moments that Sarah's like watching her, and I'm like, okay, I gotta look good, I gotta look hot, I gotta look cool and effortless, and it was so effortful.
Yeah.
Also, we were all so tired. It was because we were doing night shoots.
Wired, absolutely wired.
But also like doing dance scenes when there's like no music.
It's
like
so
you have,
weird
like,
because there's just a thump track.
Yeah.
No,
And
I
you
feel
can't
like that
hear
song
the
track is
music.
still stuck in my head. That's still stuck in my head, I feel like. The song tonight. It was just like...
And then I remember I was so nervous, and you two stood like on the other side of the camera, and you were dancing. So if I ever got like started to freak out, I would just open my eyes and look over, and I'd see you guys dancing, and I was like, oh yeah.
With Joe from Sound.
With Joe, or the
Joe Sound.
Yes. Oh, he was an angel. But yeah, that was the scariest. But actually, I think turned out to be the most fun and like one of my favorite scenes to watch. You know, just all the rave stuff, even though that was like, sometimes I think complicated because it was nighttime and cold and stuff. I really love how they turned out.
I think it was a really bonding moment for the cast, honestly.
Oh yeah, I think we were all in an actual warehouse, freezing cold,
drinking Red Bull,
drinking Red Bull, and eating pierogies on like the floor of a warehouse.
We did have
that
pierogies
was
that
super
night.
bonding. I mean, Olivia, you weren't even shooting, and I remember you come to say, be like just emotional support, like taking care of us. You like would come up to me and be like, "What do you need? Do you need water? Do you need a Red Bull? You need coffee? You need food?" Like, and I was like, "You angel!" Like,
Energizer.
Yes, I don't know how you did it.
I think most of it just. Are you kidding? Everyone else pulling an all-nighter but me, and then I would be off at everyone's sleeping schedule. My FOMO's too bad for that. You shitting me?
I wish I was like that, but not gonna lie, if I were in your position, I would have been at home in my warm bed.
Yeah, I'm just having beer. Someone said in the comments. Someone actually, which is true, I am. I was just having beer. Someone said, I saw a question, I wanted to ask it. What was your favorite behind the scene moment?
Favorite behind the scene moment? I mean, it's those moments that, like, you know, where we really just showed love for each other and support for each other, and like we just make each other laugh. Sitting in each other's trailers, playing Jenga in like a wobbly trailer, which I'd never actually played. Well, I did play once, but I was like watching you guys play a lot, and I was like so impressed.
Easiest Jenga game ever.
Oh my god. But it was just the bonding. Yeah. All the bonding that we did, like even like not at work or even behind the scenes, like just like in our lives, like when we would every weekend we go to brunch, we go vintage shopping, we would sit at the park or something. Those things were really nice to me. I think back on memories fondly.
Yeah,
I mean, because none of us really had that many scenes together, so
yeah,
we really did like connect offset, and then whenever we were all together, it just made those days like so fun.
Yeah.
It was a really good collaboration just of everyone. I think it's a great show. I love the show. And
me too. I'm the biggest fan of the show. Like, and it's our show, you know. I think we all feel that way, and that's such like that doesn't always happen. And so I'm really like grateful and trying to like appreciate it while I can, you know.
Yeah. I'm excited to also just see, you know, fans' reactions to the next 2 episodes, and I don't know, so much happens, I feel like, in the entire show, and
it does happens.
People are saying I want to see bloopers, and you know what, me too.
Me too. Oh my gosh, there's I think there's one I wanted so bad. I was walking to my dad's car and I hit the side mirror of the truck. I just ran into it while saying bye and completely chucked my shoulder into it.
Yeah, there were good behind the scene moments. There was like the scene in the drama room, in episode 4, I think, where me, Esther, Susan, and Rayleigh are like eating French fries and having lunch, and I throw the fries up and like catch them, and right at the end of one of the takes I caught it, and I was like, I totally broke character because I was so surprised that I did it. I was like so proud of myself.
Yeah, dude, that scene makes me laugh so hard for some reason. I don't know about you, but do you find that the show's like randomly hilarious? Like I think it, like, I was talking about this on Live with the twins the other day, but like I feel like they weren't intending to be funny with certain things, but they're just hilarious. And then like, you know, Patrick, who is incredible, incredible, like, just I found it funny.
No, it's good. It keeps like light without it being like over the top or anything. And I don't know, it's crazy how bingeable the show is, because it gives you like more feeling, you know, like when you're at home with your family, you just like know, well, say whatever, and you just know how to crack each other up. That's the feeling I get. It gives the feeling of like being at home on Christmas with my family. That's like what.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I think I don't really. I feel like our show's very unique in that way, especially like young adult.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I guess one kind of final question is, what do you, what do you hope people kind of take away from the show? And what do you think you've walked away from the show learning?
I mean, I hope that people watch this show. Like, I think this show has the potential to really garner in a bunch of different generations to watch it, you know? I think that there's going to be nostalgia for the older generation, and I think for older queer people that were growing up in the 90s, or even just watching shows in the 90s that didn't have a lot of representation, I think that this could be like a very healing experience to watch, and seeing that, oh hey, Tegan and Sara, queer people exist, you know, like even in Calgary, like it just wasn't shown on be. And so, but those people existed. Those people, this is their story. This is their self-discovery. This is their, their challenges, their triumphs. I think that's like, it's so inspiring. And I also think for like a younger generation, I think that we all are so fascinated with, period pieces, and to have something that is technically period, but not that far away. Like maybe you have a sibling or a parent or an aunt, someone that grew up in that time. Maybe it can help bridge the gaps in that relationship. And also, I think, be very informative for the, like, hey, there are people that, were taking those, they were walking so that we can run, like they're doing that for us. And I think our show is so special, and it's so unique, and it has a lot of heart, and the music is dope.
The music is top tier.
It is insane. It's so good. And I don't know, I think the show just has a little bit of everything.
I agree.
Check it out, guys.
Yeah, check it out. I'm gonna be all like interview official and be like, and if you don't know what we're talking about High School, a show that we are all a part of. That's on Amazon Freevee. There's 6 episodes out right now. 2 more are coming out this Friday. It'll all be available in Canada on the 28th. Thank you, Brie. Thank you, Amanda,
thanks for having me
live. Brianne, you are a queen. You slay, and I love you. And I'm really sad I won't see you in ballet tomorrow.
I love you, Brie, and I want to see you soon. I'm coming to LA.
Yes, please.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much. Love you. Go watch the show, guys.